Compound is a substance formed by the combination of at least two elements in a definite ratio. Every element forms variety of compounds except noble gases because they are chemically least reactive. We expect very least reactivity from the noble gases, and from other gases we get variety and complexity of compounds. But on the modern periodic table, we see one element which is unique, very interesting, special. Why? Because his friendship is more. It can form large number of compounds. If you want to count or if you want to compare compounds formed by that single element, then we will make two heaps. Heap number one is what? Heap number one is compounds of all other elements one side, and heap number two is compounds of that one single element. We find that compounds of that one element are far more than compounds of all other elements put together. That means that unique element, that special element which is there on the modern periodic table forms variety of compounds, large number of compounds, and that unique element is none other than carbon. Before carbon you see some elements, and after carbon you see some elements. Carbon's place is unique, its size is unique, its valence is unique. Neither it donates electron nor it accepts electron. The pure sharing of electron is there with that element, that is carbon. So because of this special nature, unique nature, carbon forms large number of compounds. So because of this, what is because of this? Because of the formation of compounds by the carbon, in chemistry we have created a special branch known as chemistry of carbon compounds or carbon chemistry, which is popularly known as organic chemistry. I think I have made myself clear which chapter we are going to start. So after studying first four chapters, basics of 11th class, now we will shift towards the organic chemistry. Okay, once we study organic chemistry, we will come back to the inorganic, then last part of the first part will study. Okay, so with this, once again, not once again, good day to all of you. I welcome for the today's session on organic chemistry. Yeah, let's go. As we know, we come across different types of compounds in nature. Some are man-made. Out of them, organic compounds also form one of the categories. Means what? In everyday life, we come across many compounds. So some are man-made, some are natural, but all those maximum compounds belongs to which category? Carbon category. That means organic category, and they are called as what? Organic compounds. In and I told in the beginning, compounds. No, there are two types of compounds. One is what? Inorganic compounds obtained from mineral, and other one is what? Organic compound obtained from plants and animals. Organic word is taken from the organ, cell, tissue, organ, that biological word. Okay, so see here, see the what point I wrote here. Organic obtained from plants and animals. Whatever plants, whatever animals give products, they are called as organic. Okay, that was the belief earlier. Now today, science, especially chemistry, developed so vast that not only plants and animals give organic compounds, we can prepare also. That means organic compounds are not only natural, They are man-made also. Man-made is nowadays more than the natural. Okay. Then why he is told from plants and animals? It was the belief earlier. Okay. Organic compounds are available only in the plants and animals. That is only in the nature. So organic compounds are natural. That was the belief. Okay. Now, please see here. Why we have to study organic compounds or the organic chemistry or the carbonic chemistry? Because they play a vital role in our life. Whether it is vitamin, whether it is mineral, whether it is aldehyde, ketone, carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids, lipids, cholesterol, hair, skin, every, see, all in this all area. So organic chemistry is there. So that's why organic chemistry is a part and parcel of our life. Therefore, we have to study organic chemistry and their compounds. That's why he says they play a very important role. Vital means very important role in our life. They constitute our body, our diet, our medicine. See, today we see lots of medicine in the medical shop. Okay, all those are organic, which we require for our body for the treatment. So we need to study organic chemistry. Earlier, it was thought that, you make it that, has made organic compounds are not possible. Means what? See, earlier they thought that there is a one force which is known as what? Vital force, which is responsible for the preparation of these chemicals in plants and animals. And such chemicals are impossible to prepare outside in the laboratory. One example, urea is a part of our urine. So this urea is prepared by the body only because of the vital force which is there in the body, in the nature. To prepare this urea outside in the laboratory, it is impossible. That was the belief. And that theory is known as what? That theory is known as vital force theory. Okay. Theory which explains the importance of the vital force for the preparation of organic compounds by the plants and the animals. But outside it is impossible. Later, it was seen that preparation of these compounds are possible. Almost 95% of organic compounds are man-made nowadays. Okay, so that means whatever belief was there, it was wrong. Now we can prepare many chemicals in laboratory, but actually who has started this beginning, that breakthrough, the beginner, who is the pioneer, who is the founder? He is the one, German scientist. Okay, Uhler. Okay, so he gave a blow to vital force theory, breakthrough in the field of chemistry. Okay, as he accidentally prepared organic compound in laboratory. He is the first man in the history of chemistry prepared organic compound outside the plant body or the animal body. That is, he prepared in the laboratory. So the credit of organic chemistry goes to German scientist Euler. He is the great scientist of organic chemistry. Okay, Euler. What was his contribution? Please see. He took ammonium sulfate and potassium cyanate and got ammonium cyanate. This ammonium cyanate, after separation, heated and gave urea. See what I told in the beginning. Urea is a chemical prepared by the body only because of the vital force theory. To prepare urea outside is impossible. That was the belief. Now Euler disproved it. It is wrong. I have prepared urea in the laboratory using the ammonium cyanate. So from that point, organic chemistry has taken different shape. Now today we got many compounds in our hand. Okay, right. Now so using his breakthrough, using his idea. Okay. Now one more scientist who, he is Berthelot, who prepared methane in the laboratory artificially. He is the one, Kolbe, prepared acetic acid in the laboratory. So it means taking the light or the guidance or the that spark from the German scientist Euler. Now they too started, many scientists started, but these two were successful, and from this onwards, now today we have many organic compounds in the chemistry. Organic compound is mainly formed of carbon. I told you, carbon compounds are called as organic compounds. They are also called as hydrocarbon. Why hydrocarbon? Okay, because carbon's best friend is hydrogen. So there are many hydrocarbons are there. Hydrocarbons are the compounds of hydrogen and the carbon. We have studied in the 10th class. Okay. So variety of hydrocarbons are there. Alkane, alkene, alkyne, all those we study later in this chapter. Okay. So hydrocarbons are the basic organic compounds in chemistry. From the hydrocarbon we derive, we prepare some other organic compounds. So hydrocarbons are the basic organic compounds in chemistry. In some compounds, hydrogen is replaced by other elements like N, S, etc. That means what? We take hydrocarbons. So using hydrocarbon, we put sulfur, we put nitrogen, we put phosphorus, we go for some other derivatives of organic compounds, and they are called as what? Compounds prepared by hydrocarbons are derivatives. So they are also called as what? Organic compounds. Now, what is the conclusion? Conclusion is what? Therefore, we can define what is organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is the study of carbon compounds in general and hydrocarbons and their derivatives in particular. That means it is a special branch of chemistry, right? So, chemistry of carbon separately studied under the organic chemistry, and chemistry of all other elements except carbon are studied under the inorganic chemistry. Okay. So, inorganic stands for all other, 92 minus 1, 91, whereas organic chemistry means it is the chemistry only one element. So it is so vast, variety of textbooks have come, variety of chemicals have come, variety of applications are there. That's why separate branch was needed and it was created by the IUPAC. At the end, what is the caption here? Organic chemistry is the study of organs, whereas inorganic chemistry is the study of the insides of organs. Okay, so to study organs, we require organic chemistry, and inside the organ, what is there? Whether it is a sodium or a potassium or a carbonate or a hemoglobin, okay, structure part. That is what inside the organic chemistry, inside the study of organs, that is studied by the inorganic chemistry. Organic chemistry and inorganic chemistry both are complementary, both go hand by hand, they are together. Okay, then only we can study complete chemistry. So with this, today we will conclude introduction part of the organic chemistry, and from tomorrow onwards we go deep into the organic chemistry. Thank you, my dear students.